Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about how easy velocity banking is. Just by looking at some of your comments and feedback, I know that some of you are afraid of this for some reason, but in my mind, it is just so easy that I'm just going to copy a phrase from a 90s infomercial. And because all you have to do when you do velocity banking is you just set it and forget it. And the person who came up with that phrase was this gentleman here named Ron Pope. I think you pronounce his name Popeil, right? And I don't know if you ever seen those 90s infomercials, because I remember waking up as a kid at like 3, 4 a.m. and seeing these infomercials on television where he would sell these chicken roast ovens. And what you do is you put the chicken in the oven, and you always say you just set it and forget it. And actually, let me just do this: set it and forget it oven, right? And so these are these chicken ovens that I'm talking about, but it's the same concept of velocity banking. That's how easy it is, right? So if you've never heard of velocity banking, I would recommend that you click the link to Velocity Banking 101 down below and then come back to this video if you want a more elementary explanation. Because in this video, we're just going to show how easy it is to set it and forget it, right? So here's the thing. With velocity banking, you only need two things. First thing you need is a budget, and then second thing you need is a line of credit as your main operating account. And I've already created the budget for you, right? So let's say you have a $4,000 paycheck and your expenses are $3,500 a month and you only have $437 left in your checking and savings. You'd kind of freak out a little bit, right? Because it's kind of a lot. And let's say we have two credit cards here that equal up to $25,000. If you want to figure what the minimum payment of those are, just go to bankrate.com, find the minimum payment calculator for the credit card, and then go ahead and put in that information, and you can see the monthly payment, minimum monthly payment right here. Okay, so if you're ever in this situation, a lot of people are really afraid to see this number so low, but for me, the number should be zero, right? Because I want to just set it and forget it. So here's the strategy of velocity banking if you're not familiar with it. Once you have your budget, you have to have your main operating account instead of your checking account, which is your average American's main operating account. You have to have a line of credit. So let's just assume that we have a personal line of credit, okay, at $25,000 limit. Now I have over $220,000 in credit line limits, right? Over 220,000. It's like $220,400, right? And so I know some of you are thinking getting this amount is unrealistic, and that's really not true if you know what the banks are looking for. If you know what banks are looking for and who they're looking to lend to, and you have a good credit profile and you have some income, you're able to get you should be able to get a certain amount of credit that's more than your typical $1,000, $2,000 of credit limits, right? But let's just assume that we have a $25,000 personal line of credit. So this is where the set it and forget it part comes, right? What we want to do is put our entire paycheck, which is the $4,000, into one place. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something that most Americans will never do if they have something left over. We're going to have a zero checking and savings for now. Okay? But let's do this. Let's transfer this balance, 25 grand, because this is a 10 grand credit card and a 15 grand credit card. Let's just transfer this whole thing to 25 to this, and let's max out this line of credit. That's pretty insane, right? I think I've done that a few times before, or maybe I left a couple of dollars in, but we'll do that, and guess what happens? This credit card and this credit card is paid off. So this goes to 0 and 0, right? Now your rent, food, insurance stays the same, but let's go ahead and sum it up. And now look at how the expenses magically decreased to 2,700. And I didn't even do anything. All I did was just transfer some debt into a personal line of credit. And what we're going to do is use our cash flow, which is our paycheck minus our expenses, to bring it down. So C2 minus C3. So that's 1,300. Okay, so take a look at this. I put my entire paycheck in here, and then I take it out, and then I rinse and repeat, and it's like set it and forget it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So it's H2 minus 1,300. Okay, so that's month one, and then let's calculate the interest, right? So if you've never done this before, just go ahead and get the averages of these two, because it's going to be calculated by the average daily balance, multiply it by the interest rate, which is 0.15, and then divide it by 12, and that'll give you an approximate figure for the interest. It's not going to be exact. Okay? And then once you do month two, right? Once you do month two, you take these two numbers and then you subtract your cash flow to get the balance of month two. So that'll be H3 plus I3 minus 1,300. Okay? So now we just copy and paste this here, and then again, it's set it and forget it. So you dump your entire paycheck in here, take out your expenses, and we should be off to the races, right? So now all it is just, I don't even have to think anymore. I just copy and paste these two, copy and paste, right? And then we're on our way to pay off our debts until it gets to a negative number, and then we just put 0 right here, okay? And then let's see how long it took. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the previous number, which is J4 plus 1. And I'm going to copy and paste this. And you can see that it took us about a little bit less than 2 years to pay off $25,000 of debt. Look how easy that was. So I don't know about you, but I know that a lot of people would freak out about having 25 grand in 30%, 29% credit card debt. And here's the cool thing, right? Your credit card is still useful, because what you can do, right, is instead of it just carrying a balance, because this is what this is like carrying a balance. What you do is you pay off, you charge all of your general expenses to the credit card. And we'll say this is credit card 1, right? Instead of carrying a balance, you pay it off at the last possible moment in full, maybe rack up some of those points, right? Get maybe $10, $12 every month in points, and you delay the interest. Because when it comes with a personal line or a home equity line of credit, the moment you take out the money is when interest accrues. Whereas with a credit card, if you pay it off in full every single month, there's no interest, right? So we can delay the interest that we pay when we do everything from our credit card. Okay? So now, do you see how easy this system is? Paycheck in, expenses out. I don't have to think about that much. I don't even have to calculate the interest, because the interest, again, yes, we have to pay it, but you don't really have to calculate. Just as long as you know that it is being calculated, it's added to your balance after each month, and then you can see how easy it is. You just set it and forget it. Wasn't that easy? Like, I thought that was really easy, and that's why I love the velocity banking strategy. In fact, with this strategy, I was able to pay off 25% of my mortgage in a year, and yeah, and I didn't really even think about it. I remember when I first did it, I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is amazing. I didn't even think about it, because I just set it and forget it. See how easy that was? Set it and forget it. All right, so how have you been doing with velocity banking? Has it been a struggle? Has there been any issues? Maybe you don't have access to the line of credit and only credit cards. That makes things a little bit harder, because you can't pay everything off with a credit card like you can with the line of credit. All right, well, if you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below. We'll be in touch, and we'll get on a one-on-one Zoom call to see if you're a good fit for the group. Other than that, have a great day. Almost one more day to the new year, and we're just going to keep cranking out our videos to study velocity banking, and almost in 2024, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.